Okay, me darlings. We're going to start sitting if sitting is possible for you. And in fact, if you find it hard to sit upright on the floor, then why not sit on your chair? And we could even do some chair exercises from that. So there's absolutely no, I'm going to sit in my chair. Absolutely no harm in doing that. And at this point, sitting in our chair, we might as well scooch right back with the bum and get your back touching the chair. So if you have a yoga chair, this isn't a yoga chair, but it's similar in that it just has a bar. They can tend to kind of cut into your back a bit. Oh, somebody's just arrived, excuse me. So if you put a flat block behind your back, it can just take away that kind of cutty in sensation that happens. Um, Without making you kind of slump back into a cushion. So the yoga block just has a bit of more stability to it than a normal cushion. If your feet are miles from the ground, please put some blocks or something under your feet. And we can start with our eyes closed or open. Letting your shoulders relax. Feeling your sitting bones, feeling the support of the chair and the support of the floor, the support of your shelter, your roof over your head, your heating or your air conditioning or whatever it is in your environment that makes you comfortable. And the more comfortable we feel, the more regulated the nervous system can be. But the more the nervous system is regulated, the more comfortable, the more comfort is available. So it is both a positive cycle, but potentially a negative cycle. So tuning into our pain and discomfort can feed the nervous system's dysregulation and then create more pain and discomfort. And having pain and discomfort can increase nervous system dysregulation itself. So while we acknowledge that there is an experience of pain, and while we attend to it because it is a signal that something may be needing a bit of extra care, it is deeply influenced by other things like our expectation of discomfort, our expectation of pain. And so finding a way to modulate that reaction as well as react in appropriate ways to protect ourselves is quite the tricky thing. And one of the best ways we can do this is by reducing the load that is in the threat bucket. So the threat bucket is something that is an image of what we all hold, which is things in our system that our nervous system perceives as a threat. So we were talking before I started recording that somebody here was having pain around the jaw area, and it may have been related to some dentistry or maybe to grinding the teeth. But something like having invasive dentistry is going to add to your threat bucket. And so is a lack of accurate eye or visual function. So is a skewed vestibular system. So is a lack of proprioception. But so also is stressful family members, stressful events in the family. So is a traffic jam. So is on and on and on. So there are things that we can do to reduce the volume of stuff in the threat bucket that doesn't mean that we have to get rid of the stressors. We can't avoid the dental surgery or the family issues or the traffic jam. But we can feed our visual, proprioceptive, and vestibular systems, which can help us feel safer. And we're going to start with the visual system today. And this is important just for comfort in life, but also when we feel safer, we're more likely to be able to engage in the strength challenges that we're doing here, to engage in the balance challenges we're doing here, etc. So I know that this shouldn't be important because for most of you, we've done an eye exercise with a before and after range of motion test, but I think it's worth revisiting. So I'm going to get you to just push your chair back. Well, you don't have to push it back. Just I'm pushing it back so I stay in shot. And stand up for a moment. And keeping your feet in a position you can remember. So if you maybe can feel the chair just behind you, and make sure that this is the position that you'll return to for the next range of motion test after the eye exercises. We're going to do a twist for our range of motion test, but don't let your one foot come off the floor and the other not, for example. And remember, the way you do your range of motion test now wants to be exactly the same when we do it again. So we're going to take our hands out in front like a kind of horizontal church steeple. I'll show you from the side. And I'll also show you the twist from the side. You can stay as you are. We're going to turn the chest and bring the arms with us, but don't let your feet come off the floor or change their position. When you get to the range that you can go to, check what you can see, check what your fingers are pointing to, check what you can see in front of you and to the sides. How is your range of motion now? And go ahead and do the other side. Check what you can see, what you're pointing to. Keep the two heels on the floor. And just so we don't think that we've cheated and that it's actually because we've warmed up, we'll check the range of motion on each side again. You may have a slight improvement or you may not. And check the first side again. Second side again, my apologies. See what you see. And then sit down and we'll do our eye exercise. So we're going to do the one that an eye exercise that stimulates the majority of the muscles around your eyes. And those eye muscles go directly neurologically to your brainstem, which helps support the nervous system. But we're also training the ability of our brain to see, which it really likes. So we're going to take a finger or thumb out in front. If you can't see it reasonably well, you could use something else. I'm going to use a spoon because it's a small surface, a small thing to look at, but it's bigger for my short-sightedness. And we're going to take our thumb or our object just up at 12 o'clock above our eyes, so our eyes have to look up. Bring your other hand onto your chin and tell yourself, I am not going to move my head. And draw maybe 4 slow circles with your hand, tracking the object as smoothly as you can. And try and be aware of one point of the object. So the spoon is weird because I've got my reflection, so possibly not a great idea. So I'm looking at the top of the spoon. Be more interested in a still head than how big your circle is. So the circle can be reasonably small and it can be tiny if you need it to be. And we're looking for continuous ability to smoothly track the object. Let's do one more circle for good luck. Keep the head still. Bringing your hands down, give your eyes a rest. And if that arm is comfortable to do the same, another job, you can use the same arm or you can use the other arm and we'll go circling the opposite direction. And I've been a bad teacher because I forgot to get you to notice which direction you were going in the first time. But you might find that once you start, you're going, oh no, I already did that. You'll just know. There's no harm in doing another 5 or 4 in the same direction at all. It will give you the neurological stimulus we're looking for. You could do this for, a good minute if you wanted in each direction. Smooth and not losing track. Notice if you might be having to play catch up or if your eyes are going before the object. And maybe do one or two more. Keep your head still, keep your breath easy and your shoulders relaxed. And when you're ready, close your eyes, rest your arms. And then when you're ready, stand up again into exactly the same spot. You don't want to be further away from the chair because then you'll have different visual things to notice. So taking your hands out in front like a horizontal steeple, keep your feet on the floor and check your range of motion to one side and check your range of motion to the other side. Coming back to center, those of you here, just give me a wave or a thumbs up if you got improvement in your range of motion. Yeah, a little bit. I thought I saw improvement in yours, Olive, actually. But if it didn't feel improved, it might be two things. One, that it wasn't enough for you and you need more stimulus, so you could do it for longer, or you could add another neural challenge like tapping your feet, or you could do some jaw exercises, but probably not while your jaw is troubled. You could do tongue exercises, maybe cleaning all of your teeth with your tongue in the same direction as you're doing the eye circles and trying again. I would say that when you're in acute discomfort, you might have some relief of pain and mobility, but you won't have a huge amount. And then some people, it feels worse after those stimuli. If it wasn't good for you, then you don't do it. Or if it made things worse, don't pursue it. But if it was a bit, maybe something, then you can try again and see how it works the next time. Let's come back to our chairs anyway. And we're going to think of our nose and just draw a little sideways figure of 8 on the wall with your nose. So, of course, the only route to reducing pain and improving mobility isn't through neurological exercises. But when we're looking at areas of the body that are a bit struggly, and we sometimes get into a notion that we have to move them harshly to try and kind of push them out of that stuckness. But actually pulling back a little may be better. So let's reverse that figure of 8, which will be a neurological and vestibular challenge, by the way. If you feel a bit sick, it's not a bad thing to feel a bit sick, but don't allow yourself to get sicker. But if you need to open your eyes, it might feel a little less nauseating. So here we're not trying to do big, huge circles of the neck to try and relieve discomfort. We're just making little easy moves. And then come back to center. And then take, do you know what? We're going to do a tongue exercise. Just we might do our range of motion test just so that you notice whether that helps. So we're just going to take our tongue and clean the fronts of your teeth all the way around with very minimal movement of your jaw and do 4 circles in each direction. Don't go too fast. Really use the tongue, not the jaw. And then change direction. And take a little rest. And just out of interest for anyone who didn't have improvement on the range of motion the last time, just stand up and have a little check. And even some of you who did have improvement of range of motion, it might have got even better from the tongue exercises. Ha 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 ha! And give me a wave if it did once you've checked. That's insane. I saw that, Olive. That was huge. So there you go. That's your homework is your tongue exercises. We're now going to go into more normal yoga for bone health stuff by bringing our band and your bolster close by your chair. I'm going to get rid of the little prop behind my back actually, because we're going to sit towards the front of the chair. So for those of you who'd had an improvement with the eye exercise, did you get a further improvement after the tongue exercise? Yes, yeah, I did too. That's quite something. You're kind of like, oh, could I now turn myself inside out if I did enough of those those things? No, you couldn't, and you wouldn't want to anyway. So the whole point of those things is about, yes, of course, mobility, but discomfort relief and generally nervous system support is the aim for me, not getting you super bendy. So we're going to sit at the front edge of our chair. I kind of want to apologize in advance for this sequence because I hate it. My legs are definitely weaker than my upper body. And we're going to take our feet slightly further back than under our knees. So they're not directly under our knees, they're just a little step back. And we're going to take the arms forward, but try not to round the back. So we're gazing straight ahead. And if anything, you could imagine you have a string out of the top of your head as you lean forward, and then let the string pull you up. And then we take the bum backwards and find the chair slowly with the string still holding us up, as it were. As the string pulls you up, press down through your feet. As you come finally up, push your bum slightly forward, engaging your glutes. And then sitting down, find the chair slowly, keep still thinking up with your head. One more time. Press down through your feet and rise up through your head at the same time. Press the bum forward and then sit back. Take your band and put it under your feet. As you do these classes, please note whether you might feel, I might be starting to need a stronger band, and do get one for yourself. You can get rolls of them that you could double up, but you're better just to get a selection of a few. Taking the band like an ice cream cone on each end, so the wobbly bit is coming up through your thumb. Hold the band out front as high as you can. This is a very strong band, so I can't hold it that high. Press down through the feet as you go up through the head, bringing the band with you without lowering your arms. And then sit back, press down through the feet and up through the head. If this feels too much, because this is quite hard to keep the arms at the same relationship with the body, you could, of course, as you come up, let the band be fairly loose, stand up and then do a bicep curl, and then bring the hands down and sit back if it's too much for you. So we're going to do 4 more. Take the arms forward and straight and keep them in that relationship to the body as you press down through the feet and up through the head, and down through the feet and up through the head as you sit. Or you can take the band loose as you stand up and then perform a bicep curl, and inhale, band loose as you sit down. 2 more of whichever one you fancy. Keep long in the spine, up through the head, down through the feet. 1 more time. Keep the band in your hand when you've landed, and hold it a bit shorter if it doesn't feel terribly taut. And we're just going to go kind of cross-country skiing here. For 10, 9, keep the elbows close to the body. 7, this kind of movement. 6, 2 bent elbows. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to take the arms out to the sides in a kind of like, I don't know how to describe this kind of yay movement, but holding the band. So up with bent elbows and down. Turn my chair. And up and down. And exhaling and breathing in. Exhale, sit tall, breathe in. More out to the sides, Olive. You're going a little bit front. So more like your thumbs are going up to your shoulders. And up. And down. 1 more time. We're going to hold up for 10, 9, lift through the pelvic floor. Don't over poke the ribs, so tuck your tail slightly, Valerie. 4, 3, 2, 1, and come slowly down. Step your feet out for now. And take your bolster. And we'll come back to the front of our chair. I'll go diagonal. That might be a good view. So feet slightly back of the knees, but not like right under the chair. Kind of natural distance, I think. Inhale here. Exhale, press down through your feet as you rise up to your head, and then push your glutes forward or engage your glutes as you push the pelvis slightly forward. And sitting back down, find the chair slowly. Looking like that was reasonably doable for you all, so try holding the bolster out front. And exhale up, use the legs, rise up to the head, use the glutes as you arrive, and slowly back down. If that felt too easy for you, no, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say let's try and amp this up. Let's take the left foot slightly back and the right foot slightly forward. And how we might amp this up later is if you choose, you can lift your left heel off the floor or even lift your left foot off the floor. Let's try the first one with the bolster close because it's lighter that way. And we're pushing down through the right foot to come up, glutes forward and back to the bum. Too difficult on one leg, go back to 2 legs. Let's try 3 more on that leg. My right leg is my weaker leg. So my left toes are trying to do a lot of the work here. See if you can notice that for yourself and try and make them right, do a bit more. If you're feeling really gung-ho, you could try floating your right foot. I can't go down gently for that. And I can't get up. And one more time. Blowing out as you come up might be easiest for you. And inhale down. Swap the feet. I think I intended to do 4, but I think I did 5 or 6 there on that right leg. So we'll go ahead and do 5 or 6 on this. If you had a notion of what you did, please go ahead and match it. And if this leg is easier, you could hold the bolster out in front. We don't want to overtrain our stronger leg, but we do want to keep it working. So it's tricky that when we have one less strong side than the other. So maybe 3 more approximately. Some of you there live might remember. Maybe you're getting used to me being a bit rubbish at this numbers thing, as you're always counting. I'm going to do 1 more. As you sit down, put the bolster to the side and just take your arms up, breathing in, and exhale them down and give yourself a little hug. And up, breathing in. And see if you can hug with the arms crossed the other way. Not a big deal if you can't remember. 1 more on each side. And back to center. So we're going to do one last chair thing. We're going to take that right foot forward, bring your hands to your chest in a sort of holding hands kind of position in front of you. Bring the elbows out, and I just find that pressing into my hands for this is really helpful for the effort of this next one. So we're starting on the left big toe and the right foot. Press into the hands to come up and come down to a chair pose, not on the chair, but chair pose. So the knees are bent, and see if you can float your left toes and see how far back towards the chair you can get with until you're going to plonk, and then push back up to the bent knee chair pose and come down. If you manage to sit with the left toes floating, that's fine. I can't with the right leg. And back up. And inhale back, push with the hands. You might find it easier with your arms in front. I just like the hands pushing. And 1 more. And then Bring the big toe to the floor. Yes, if you can't sit down without it there, and sit down and swap feet. Left foot front, right big toe on the floor. Exhale to stand up, float the right foot. We come back and forth from chair rather than right up to standing. It's just a bit harder. And we're going to try and touch the chair with our bum with the right foot lifted. Better on this side, but not quite. Exhale up. I keep going up too high because it's easier. Inhale back. Exhale up to standing chair. Inhale back towards sitting chair. And up. Just make sure if you're really trying to get back, you might find yourself rounding because of your efforts to get back to the chair. Try not to do that. And eventually getting to the chair. Holy moly. Do you have a chair with wheels? I should have said if you have a chair with wheels, brace it against the wall. I'm glad you didn't, it didn't slip out behind you. Sorry about that for anyone who's watching the recordings. Oh, should have said that. So we are going to say goodbye to our chair for sitting and just simply stand up, but we're going to use it a little bit facing the other way. Just while we have it. So taking it to the front of your mat. I have a confession to make. I'm actually teaching in my slippers, which wasn't my intention, but once we started on the chair, it felt too easy to do that. Step your feet back. I'm going to stay in my slippers for this last one because it's pretty easy. Bum goes back, tail goes to the ceiling, arms stretch long out ahead of you, armpits nice and open, ribs long. A little bit of pleasure, maybe the knees slightly bent, and maybe the bum swaying side to side, a lovely bushy fox's tail, swishing, maybe painting on the wall behind you, dipped in beautiful watercolor. Mixing my metaphors, but I think you get the idea that this movement might be very different to what we've just done. Very sort of slinky, sensual skin, fascia, kind of mobilizing rather than constricting, which we've deliberately done. When you're ready, walking back up. And for now, we can take, well, unless you think you might use it for your legs at the end of the class, we won't be using the chair again. But it can be nice to put your legs up on the chair at the end of class, especially because of what we just did, actually. That's probably a good idea I've just had, is to have the chair for our relaxation later. But for now, we are going to come to the floor, which is a bit of a treat. And our usual safe route to the floor. Bring your bolster with you, please, and your band. And no harm in having your blocks nearby. It just depends on how the timing goes for this next little sequence. So if you notice that you have a leg that found the chair stuff more difficult, that's the leg that's going to stay on the floor as you step the other foot back. And bring the knee down and take the other knee down. We're going to be kneeling for a short time. If you find that tricky, please get something to kneel on. You know, if you find it tricky for your knees. And we're going to do a little hover. So we're going to take the left foot up to the front of our mat, but we're not going to put it down. And hold that there for maybe 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take it back. Ridiculously hard, isn't it? And then hover the right foot for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step back. We're going to do that again, but we're going to make it harder, even though that was already hard. So we're going to just do a little vestibular work. So before we go, could you take a finger out in front of you and keep your gaze fixed on it? And when we start doing the hovering, you're going to be looking at the finger, but turning your head left, right, like you're not shaking your head no. So you might want the other arm out to the left or the other arm out to the side. Take the left foot in front and hover. Look at the finger and turn your head left, right. And if you can't manage, it may be that just fixing your gaze on that finger is enough of difficulty, added difficulty for you. And then bring the knee back. I always find with the knee balances, it just gives you such respect for your feet and how amazing they are at balancing, because it's so much harder to balance on our knee. Let's take the finger out in front, and this time we're going to do a different vestibular exercise. Right foot floats, and we're going to turn the head and watch the finger while we turn. And come back. Isn't it gas? We're going to do the two of those without the balance. So let's take the first finger up in front. Look at it and turn your head left, right, about 10 times. Keep looking at the finger. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to center. Take a little rest. Take the other hand out just for the sake of the shoulder. And this time we're going to follow the finger with head and eyes at the same rate. So don't let your eyes be playing catch up. Easier with two knees, huh? And then take your hand down and settle yourself for a moment in stillness. Let your vestibular system fluids ease. And then without any of the eye exercises, we'll do our hover again. And it might be slightly better than when you first did it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and change sides. You don't have to do the hands for this one, just normal arms. The first one we did, no eye exercise, just floating the foot. Another 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come back. So you may or may not have had a little improvement in your kneeling balance after the eye exercises, the vestibular exercises, or you may have been overly discombobulated and feel still a bit unsteady, but you have definitely trained your vestibular system for future craziness. Let's find our way onto our back. The block can go, you know, to one side, but we'll keep the bolster and band nearby. And just settling there for a sec. Relax your jaw. And then when you're ready, take one foot and then the other off the floor into dead bug or upside down tabletop, and then take the arms up simultaneously, vertical. We're going to draw a big circle with our left arm, back to center, big circle with our right arm, back to center. Draw a circle with your right knee and a circle with your left knee. Then draw a circle with your left arm and right knee and your left knee and right arm. Try and reverse the circles with the left knee and right arm, so circling the opposite direction, and the same with the right knee and left arm. Probably the more difficult one. Then we're going to circle the right knee and left arm and turn our head to the right. And back to center. Left knee, right arm, turn your head to the left. And back to center. Keep your gaze fixed on the ceiling. Right knee, left arm, turn the head to the right, but don't move your eyes. Back to center. left knee, right arm, gaze fixed, but head turns to the left and back to center. Take a little breather, feet to the floor. If you're already dizzy, the next exercise you're going to do without the head turns and just do it as a core exercise. If you're not dizzy, you're going to do the head turns as well. We're going to take our bolster and hold it up over our chest and drop your shoulder blades down towards the floor. And just before we come back into our dead bug, we're going to take the arms to the left, keeping them more or less straight so the bolster stays parallel to the ceiling. And then take the arms to the right, keeping the bolster parallel to the ceiling. I'll show you in this kind of angle. So we're not going down here. We're going straight across and straight across. So it's just destabilizing your core and making you have to work harder to stay aligned and making muscles and fibers that don't often get a job work hard or work harder. We're going to lift our feet off the floor into dead bug, stabilizing, excuse me. Oh, that sneeze that came and went. Stabilizing the pelvis, keeping the back ribs on the floor. Lift your feet, shins parallel to the ceiling. Circle the right knee. Circle the left knee. Circle them the other way. Right knee the other way. Left knee the other way. We're going to take the bolster over to the left and circle the right knee. Bolster over to the right and circle the left knee. Bolster over to the left, circle the right knee, turn your head to the right. Bolster to the left, circle the left knee, turn your head to the left. All very neuro. Bolster to the left, turn the right knee. Keep that gaze on the ceiling as the head turns right. Bolster to the right, gaze on the ceiling, left knee circles head to the left. Back to center. We're going to slightly change the leg thing. So we are, instead of circling the knee, we're going to extend the right leg, bolster to the left, head to the right, gaze fixed or eyes going with you, back to center. Bolster to the right, left leg extends, head turns left, gaze center or to the left, back to center. 2 more on each side. I'm going to ask you to try to go faster, but remember that if you're feeling woozy, don't do the head. So right leg, arms to the left, head doing the thing or not. Back, left leg, arms to right, head, back, right leg, arms to the left, back, left leg, arms to the right, back, and center. We're going to take our legs up to the ceiling. No more vestibular stuff here. Keep your head still, hold your bolster, and draw small circles with your legs in the air. And if you can make them larger, go ahead and make them larger without thoroughly destabilizing your trunk. Keep the back ribs on the floor. That's probably about 4 circles. We'll go and reverse the circles for 3. You might be doing it faster or slower. 2, 1. Take a little rest, bolster onto your belly maybe, just for the nice ease of it. Relax your jaw. Take your bolster off to the side and grab your band. I'm not sure if we've done this before. I want you to get your band, you need to roll to your side, and put it under your back. And if you've got a super long one, you might be able to do this with the bolster, with the band, out one side and the other, and you won't have to change it, so that you'll lie with your back in the middle of the bolster. Oh my God, the middle of the band. So that when you reach for it, you've got 2 big band tails out either side of your rib cage. So don't have the band under your waist. It's under your rib cage, very close to your shoulder blades. You might find that your band isn't long enough to have 2 of these tails and do what we're about to do. So you may end up having to shift it. Hold the band in your left hand only and punch it up to the ceiling till it's taut. And make the arm stay super straight. If you have a bit of a tail of the band sticking out the other side, just to stabilize it, not to work, hold it in your right hand. Keeping the left arm straight, we roll over to our right side, reaching up with the band, maybe even all the way to a straight right side, floating your feet. So you're lying completely on your side, your feet are floating, and you're holding that band up to the ceiling. So it should feel destabilized and working the shoulder here quite a lot. If you happen to work with weights, I'm not teaching with weights, but it would be an exercise that people might do with a weight in the hand. Let's roll back, try and keep the feet off the floor as long as you can, bringing them onto the floor when you need, still holding the band up straight. And we'll do that one more time. Roll to the side, keep the band up, 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 up. If it's slipping out from under your back, you need to hold the other end with the right hand. Hover your feet if you can. And then roll slowly back with as much control as you possibly can. Really amazing postural challenge there for the stabilizing muscles. Let's hold the band up straight in our right arm. You can do this starting with bent knees, or you can keep them straight. You only need to keep holding the left side if it's threatening to slip out from under your back, though you might find it an interesting addition. We then try and roll to the left with as much control as we can. My arm cheated there and went forward to bring me around. We're keeping that right arm up to the ceiling, and then we try and float the legs and hover. Keep the right arm high and straight. And try not to bow the abdomen forward. And then as much as you can without the feet touching the floor, with as much control as you can, come onto your back. Slowly with control. Keep that right arm up. You might need to set off on your roll to the left with the right knee bent to push you off, but try not to. And keep that right arm reaching constantly to the ceiling so the arm is changing its angle in your shoulder, floating the legs if you can for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come, whoops, slowly back, as slowly and gracefully as you can, and relax your band down. If your band is uncomfortable, take it out. If you're not noticing it, leave it there. Interlace your fingers, turn your palms to the ceiling, and bring your arms up overhead. If that doesn't work for your shoulders, you can bring them wide in a nice big open V, or even shoulder width apart, whatever feels like a nice place for your shoulders to be after that effort. I'm bending my knees now to do a nice little twist of the knees to the right, but keeping the arms up there, I'm getting a lovely long line through the front body rather than a closed-ish kind of twist. But if you prefer the arms in a different spot, go ahead. Your feet in a kind of scissors motion, and breathing. And then head off to the other side with your knees. Coming back to center, see if there's anything your body would like before we relax. Maybe it would like a little hamstring stretch, holding on to the backs of the thighs or the toes and bringing the legs high and wide. Or maybe it would like a stretch for the front of your hips, which you could do by putting your block sideways flat under your pelvis and straightening your legs out, but that might be tricky for your lower back. Or you might just be ready to have a lovely shavasana with your bolster under your thighs. Or you might like a little back bend of sitting at the end or the floor at the end of your bolster and then draping your spine backwards over the bolster, which would be quite nice, maybe for the shoulders that we've worked quite a lot when we were using the band. And a nice extension of the spine, and just sort of feeling into whether you have an intuitive sense of what might be delightful for your system. Before you close your eyes, take your gaze to the ceiling and bring your arms up and wriggle your fingers. Keep looking at the ceiling as you bring your arms wider and wider and wider and keep seeing the wriggly fingers. Keep the arms straight. And when the arms start to go out of your vision, bring them back so you can just see the wriggle in the corners of your eyes, but with your eyes fixed forward. So what we're doing here is we're opening our peripheral vision, which can be a nice way to de-stress after the stress of our exercises. Take the arms down to rest. Keep your peripheral vision open for a bit longer. And then when you're ready, close your eyes. Softening your eyelids, softening your jaw. Feeling your bones, allow them to surrender their weight. I'm particularly letting your brain relax now because we did a lot of brainy stuff there. Think about letting the brain go a bit vacant. And I like to imagine the frontal lobes of my brain dropping back from behind my forehead as if my brain is relaxing back into the back of my skull. See if there is an availability of 5% more weight, surrendering a little more weight to the floor, to the props. knowing that you get to stay as long as you like because you are in your own space. You're welcome to awaken yourself now. You've had about 5 minutes, but it's really okay to take another 5 or as long as you like. Remembering that when you do choose to rouse yourself, that you do so in little moments, little movements, little breaths, time on your side, time looking around the room, perhaps, time sitting before you get on with your day. Thank you so much and see you next time. Bye bye.